Hey friends, do you ever feel stuck in a joyless routine that you can't seem to find your way out of? Well, you're not alone. And today I want to talk to you about how we ended up in that routine, in that cycle in the first place, and how to break free from it once and for all. Now, if you're anything like me, then you have started out your life just feeling young and excited and ready to get after it. And you started out with a lot of doing work, doing caretaking, and doing housekeeping. Just a never-ending list of to-dos, am I right? But in the process, we end up doing a lot of forgetting as well. We forget about ourselves, we forget about our body, and we forget about our mind. And unfortunately, this leads to a lot of dysfunction in the body and mind, which leads to sickness. And having scary symptoms and illness and mental fog, well, that will end up perpetuating unhealthy thoughts, unhealthy feelings and emotions, and unhealthy relationships. And eventually, we find that we're no longer happy and full of joy. And we now know that unhealthy thoughts and feelings, emotions, and relationships only perpetuates more sickness and more dysfunction in the body. And this will continue to perpetuate even more unhealthy feelings and thoughts and emotions and relationships. It's a vicious cycle that can feel impossible to get out of. But I want to share with you how we begin to finally step out of this cycle once and for all. Remember, the reason why we ended up in this cycle in the first place is because we forgot about ourselves, about our body, and about our mind. So the first step is simply learning to acknowledge yourself, to acknowledge your thoughts, and to acknowledge the feelings and emotions. Now, when it comes to our thoughts, you may have heard of using affirmations to create better thoughts, happier thoughts to help drive you forward. But unfortunately, it's not quite enough. Our feelings and emotions are truly what drive the physiological changes in our body, which lead to sickness and dysfunction. And so we cannot leave our emotions out of the picture. And so we must learn to create a different relationship with the emotions that we feel and learn to cultivate positive emotions intentionally, not just using our minds and our thought power. Because you can say all day long, I am healthy, I am happy, I am healthy, I am happy, and think it, but never feel it and never truly believe it. And your body and mind will only accept and believe the things that are equal to the emotions that you're feeling at the time. And all of this comes back to our relationship with ourselves, first and foremost. Our relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship to cultivate of all. And so, stepping out of the cycle requires for you to step into your own power and your own self-worth, and be able to acknowledge the fact that you are worth the effort that it takes. And when you feel pain, when you feel sadness, when you feel angry or frustrated, not to simply ignore those things like they don't matter, or to beat yourself up for feeling those things in the first place. The loving thing to do to yourself is to meet yourself with grace and forgiveness, and to acknowledge how far you've come. This is the stepping off point in remembering ourselves and being able to cultivate the emotions within ourselves that actually facilitate healing. And I want to give you just a quick exercise that you can do with me right now to start to cultivate those positive feelings and emotions and that positive relationship with yourself. Because truly in the moment is when we need it, but I'm going to be honest, in the moment when you're feeling the things that don't feel so good, when you're caught up in that cycle of joylessness, that's the hardest time of all. And so we have to practice. In the times where we feel well, when we feel a little bit more grounded, to practice cultivating that relationship and the positive emotions. So I invite you to close your eyes with me if you are able. And just take a moment and notice what happens when you go inward. And know that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And that all of your challenges and all of your obstacles are only there to teach you and help you grow. As you take a deep breath into your belly, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, and start to breathe into your heart space, as if you could fill your heart with air instead of your lungs. And as you breathe deeply into your heart, just notice how much space that you hold there. You hold so much power and love in this infinite space within you. And the more you acknowledge your heart and feel the space that's there, the more it will grow. So while you're here, take a moment to send yourself some love through forgiveness and acknowledging how far you have come. Filling your heart space with a warm light as you breathe in, and releasing any regrets or any expectations as you exhale. And remember that you can come back here anytime that you'd like and access a place of wholeness and healing within yourself. And now you can open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me with that exercise, if you did. But I want you to know that you have the power within yourself to step outside of the cycle. The only thing that is stopping us is a resistance to love ourselves, to deem ourselves worthy of the moment. And I want you to know that you are worthy and you have everything that you need right now. Thank you for watching. Keep shining, and I'll see you next time.